Thank you for visiting the Coin Lady channel again. Dear everyone, a lot of people are jumping ship from the Xrp ecosystem to other chains since they aren't getting the capital they need to expand on the Xrpl, which has sparked a dispute within the Xrp community. Use cases are insufficient, including everything. We will discuss it, and I will share my opinion, because you are curious about what I consider to be BS. Want to know what I'm saying? Some people claim their project is dying because Xrpl isn't funding it, there aren't enough interested Xrp ledger users, or people aren't interested in spending their Xrp. It's just because you're building on the Xrp ledger. Meshes, listen, I'm being completely forthright when I say that your project is terrible. You seem to believe that switching to a more popular chain will make your project the most popular and groundbreaking thing in the industry. In reality, though, it makes no difference where you put it, it will be on the most popular blockchain right now. The Solana, no matter how far you go from the base, if your project is on the Xrp ledger and you want to move it to Solana, it will still be terrible. The projects that endure and thrive through this bull market, the next bear market, and into the next bull market in 2028 or later are the ones with real utility and are actually creating cool stuff, so we'll get into it. Let's go for the deals. We should examine El Salvador's actions. Next, we will discuss the greener Xrp ledger. Bitcoin and the current state of Bitcoins as of right now, $61,837 is 1% higher than it was a day ago. At $29.41, Ethereum will arrive. Here it is, at 4% coming in at their respective dollar pegs. XRP is USDT and USDC. It's 50 cents, you guys, hey everyone, it's only $1. But that won't be around for much longer, the current trend of stagnation will soon reverse, and the total market cap of cryptocurrencies will reach $2,305 billion. Justin, I think that's really cool. A new website was launched by El Salvador. Their national Bitcoin treasury is monitored by it. The value of the 5,740 bitcoins they acquired exceeds $353 million. Take it easy, I'm enjoying myself. When bitcoins are part of a bull market, these figures will seem even more astounding, which is a huge plus. By the end of this cycle, they will have made $1 billion. When Bitcoin's value drops, though, what then? You can see the chart whoop, but after that, what happens with these numbers? It will appear as though it has fallen off the legs. As of right now, I think it's fantastic. Here is the Bitcoin chart, there has been no change. It will be fascinating to observe whether they continue to display this in future eager crypto charts. Nothing has changed. 60 to 64,000 is the sideways accumulation zone, while 74,000 is the breakout range. Oh, that seems easy. There has been no change. Bitcoin is currently experiencing sideways movement. Just as we warned you, this is going to happen. It was inevitable, and we were prepared. While we anticipated seeing a run-up. Although everyone is clamoring for the markets to continue rising, we anticipated a slight disappointment and some sideways accumulation following the bull run's conclusion. Bitcoin has already reached its peak, and they are beginning to sell their holdings in Dutch, which is not true. Alright. We are currently experiencing sideways accumulation. I understand. Now that we have this footage, I'm going to actually, since I am eager to go into this, I suggest pausing the video tomorrow, approximately halfway through. This raises a lot of questions. And I'm going to have a little drink of water right then. So, let's talk about this chip. It's shocking to me that one of the most innovative projects on the Xrp ledger, one that claims to have integrated payments, has been totally disregarded by Xrpl. In 2019, for example, Xrpl gave 100 million forte to Gumley, a gaming company that had nothing to do with the Xrp ledger, and was thus exempt from any restrictions on the use of those funds. The irony is that there used to be no constraints on how Xrpl distributed funds to these projects. I have conversations with two projects who were part of one of the initial funding rounds on Xrpl. It seems like they were just handed the cash without any follow-up or questions asked. Even though they received funding initially, the majority of projects ultimately failed. Distributed XRP ledger product initiatives, with an impact of 1 million to 100, are examined in this context. It's really ridiculous. If you're going to ask for $1 million in capital, you better be willing to give up a significant portion of your company. If you want to ask a venture capitalist for $1 million, you had better have the books to back up the revenue you brought in, your overhead, and your runway. When you ask a VC for money, they want to know when they can expect to see a return on their investment. Ripples are grants that companies can use to expand. Additionally, the amount of money they will be making from your business. When you confront them, what you're saying is that you'd rather just make up figures than actually do the math. Suppose you're interested in trading 20% of your company for 5%. It is imperative that your organization conducts an accurate assessment. What do you think? I'm going to imagine a little Shark Tank. You know what to expect in a pitch, the question of how much are you looking? So $1 million isn't out of the question. If you can find these businesses, they will pay you $200,000, maybe $100,000 or $12,000, depending on your luck. So you can expand, can't you? If you're in need of funding from a venture capital firm in order to launch your product, you can use Xrpl. Whatever the case may be, you're in the wrong field, you're in a jam, and you've never had a project to begin with. Get out of here if you're dependent on other people to fund your project's completion. After all, what am I to do if I'm a venture capitalist watching in from the sidelines? I'll give you money to launch your project, and then what? Everything is bound to break, require an update or change, require repair or replacement at some point, or necessitate additional funding. Like buying a boat, you do it, and then what? I thought you could just keep pumping money into it to keep it going, couldn't you? Here it is the same. Is Xrpl increasing the amount of money it awards for projects? Are you aware of what they ought to do? I believe that they should. But should they simply fund projects based on how much buzz they generate online, for example, by paying Twitter users to promote their project? Definitely not the right thing for them to do. Moreover, my assessment of their actions. For my part, I can't speak from experience at Xrpl, but my understanding is that before approving any projects, they should review their past performance, verify that the promised tasks have been fulfilled, and ensure that the project has sufficient funding to launch. If I were to invest in any project, I would expect it to be fully funded, in production, and have a solid rationale for its intended use. Your plan to use my money to launch your project is something I would rather not hear about at this point, because I am not going to give you any money. Well, that concludes our video. As always, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe and leave a comment with your opinions. Muchas gracias, depart.